Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of Selling for Success, the Thursday night sales clinic brought to you by the Vaughan Business Enterprise Center. For those new to what's going on at the Vaughan Business Enterprise Center, they help you start, grow, and develop your business through various workshops like these, one-on-one business consulting, and they've got various training programs like the Starter Plus program, I think, starting up soon, and of course the Summer Company program for youth entrepreneurs, which is quite an amazing program for youth that are in school, going back to school, and want to start their own business for the summer. Plus, you get one-on-one guidance and consulting. You can register your business there, if I'm not mistaken. It's quite a complete center, and it's vaughan.ca, and then look up the Small Business Enterprise Center. And they're located up in Vaughan at Major Mac in Kiel. So let's get started into week 2 already. Unbelievable. So what are we looking at? Well, last week, for those that perhaps missed last week's course, we looked at knowing yourself. So really getting clear as to what your value is, right? And what you bring to the table, what the benefits of your offering are, really getting to know everything there is about not only yourself, your business, but your industry, how your industry and your business can impact a client's life or business. Today we're going to look at knowing your niche, knowing your clients. Now, why is this part of the curriculum? Because it's the first step in the sales process. So the 6-step sales process starts with research. And the more you know about yourself and how what you do can impact a client positively, the better off you'll be. Tonight, we're going to look at knowing your niche customer, knowing your customer and who you want to target as a client. And the more you know about them, the better you can serve them. Not only that, you get to tailor your marketing messaging to them. You get to connect where they are. If you know perhaps who your target customer is, your niche customer is, you'll know where they're hanging out, you'll know where they're networking, you'll know what they're reading, what they're watching, what they're doing. So that's some incredible knowledge that we're going to learn tonight, all right? Next week, we'll look at warming up the sales call, what you need to do to begin to prospect to your client and your ideal client base. We'll also look at developing a sales action plan in the next week or two. Selling is a good conversation. We'll look at how to manage the fear of selling. We'll look at the importance of asking good questions, developing relationships. We'll touch on negotiation. We'll touch on how to overcome objections and how important it is to develop relationships, ongoing relationships with your clients. So welcome to part 2, week 2. I'm going to ask this. For you to really begin to have sales success, yes, we talked about you've got to know yourself. You've got to know the value that you bring to the table. You've got to know how you impact a client's life in a positive method. You've got to know the benefits of your offering. For those that weren't here last week, there are 4 key benefits to think about when you're in business. One is, what are the benefits of your product? And we use spinach as a really prime example of a product that's loaded with benefits. And then there's service benefits, and a really good example of a service benefit would be, say, FedEx, right? Their slogan a few years ago was, when it absolutely positively has to get there, overnight delivery or else, right? That's a service you're going to pay for. Why? Because they guarantee they're going to get your package to where you need it to go, next day delivery or else, right? Spinach, in terms of a product loaded with benefits, has free radicals. It prevents cancer in both men and women. It's got vitamin K for your eyes. It's super nutritious. It's a green superfood, as it's known as. It's inexpensive, and Popeye loved it. So when we share these benefits of the product or service, all of a sudden price doesn't matter so much, does it? Because you're going to pay for that benefit. You're going to you need it, you want to get the value out of that. The other 2 benefit areas were relationship benefits and brand benefits. And a good example of relationship we shared last week was the relationship you have to, say, TD Bank, for example. So you might remember those commercials that aired a few years ago with the two older guys, and you know, they were sitting outside going, "Oh, what day is it? Right, and it's Sunday, or it's late at night. It's at 7:30. What's the bank doing open Sunday and at night?" And so now, when you think of TD Bank, just because of those commercials and how clever they were, you have a relationship to the TD Bank that is you can count on them to be open, right, when you need them to. And then a brand benefit, really, you know, a couple good examples, of course, Coca-Cola, Heinz, ketchup, you know, that's it's a product or a brand that you know you can count on. You wouldn't even think of another brand pretty well, right? So that's also, you know, another example of a brand benefit. Just welcoming Shujana to the call. I know Kitty, yeah, there's two Kitties there now. So I think you got a couple of friends that you registered. That you got to know your value. Now you got to know yourself. That was last week for those that missed that. Let's get into this week. So one of the things, you know, I really always, you know, coach my clients on is to get really clear as to who you want to call on. Who's your ideal client, right? What makes them ideal? What are the characteristics of your ideal client? A lot of small business owners that I've met with and teach in my work don't know what makes up an ideal client. They don't know who their ideal client profile is. I was actually at a networking event yesterday and met another coach, and I said, "So who's your client?" He said, "Everyone." And I went, "Really? Where do you begin?" And then you know, what do you specialize in? And he doesn't have a specialty, right? So you have to get really clear as to who your ideal client is and what makes them ideal. You know, it could be that they respect you. It could be they pay on time. It could be they you know, talk it up to others about you. They send you referrals. It could be that there's a good working relationship, that they like the value that you bring to the table, and you know, are good customers that way. There could be a niche client that you really love to serve. So maybe there's a pocket, a certain sweet spot of customers that you love to serve. It could be, you know, women or young moms or mompreneurs in this case, right? It could be young families. I know, Shujana, you're in real estate, so it could be, you know, young families who are looking at a house, and you can kind of coach them and guide them to make a better buying decision. And then, you know, you start to develop your reputation within that niche. One of the other things to look for too, in terms of selecting your ideal client or a niche client base, is who's got the greatest need for your services. And then what are their characteristics? What do you know about them? What do you know about that ideal customer? What do you know about that niche market that you're serving? And what are some of the characteristics? Because when you're clear as to who your client is, and you're clear as to what they're about and what their characteristics are and where they're at in life, you can start to now sort of tailor your message, your marketing message, and your sales conversations in a way that's going to grab their attention. That they're going to go, "Oh my God, they're speaking my language," right? We better listen to them. We better do business with them. And then the other question is, you know, what are your clients' challenges and problems that you solve, right? So you really want to start to know your clients, get really clear as to who they are. Is there a niche market perhaps you want to serve? Who's got the greatest need? Really get clear on the characteristics of your clients, and what are some of the key challenges and problems that you solve, right? So I'll talk a little bit tonight about the power of a niche market. And the reason I do is this is a little bit of a scary zone for a lot of entrepreneurs, because it's like, "Oh, you mean I can't call on everybody?" And it's like, yeah, that's what we mean. I want you to consider tonight, just to suspend your beliefs a little bit, and consider the idea of the power of having a niche market. So a niche is like a section of the marketplace that has the greatest need for your services. So when you develop a niche, what happens is you're a lot more focused in your marketing and sales strategies. You're not all over the map. You're not everywhere. Even in your marketing messaging, you're talking directly to the individual or the group of people or the organizations or companies that you're focusing in on. You're directing your marketing and sales strategies and your messaging directly at them. The other really very cool benefit of having a niche is usually you become known in that category that you're working with, and there's usually very little competition, which is kind of nice because there's a lot of competition, as we know in this day and age. There's less time wasted in terms of running around going after everybody. You're really focused on a pocket or a sweet spot, and there's a clear-cut sort of sales and marketing direction, and those are some of the benefits of having a niche. So let's delve into it. And so what do we mean by a niche? So I had a client a few years ago that I was coaching, taking a sip of my hot chocolate. It's a little cool and wet out tonight. And she was a woman doing stress management for women. And she came in for coaching. She said, you know, I'm not getting any traction with my marketing messaging or at my networking events. People just aren't listening to me. And I asked her, I said, her name was Pamela. And I said, Pamela, so who's your target market? And she said, oh, well, it's women 35 to 55. And I said, great, you know, that's cool. What do you say when you go and you talk it up to them? She said, well, you know, one of my networking events, I you know, say who I am. I do stress management and mindfulness training and meditation practices and journaling and relaxation with for my clients. And if you want to relax and, you know, have, you know, less stress, then that's what I do, right? And so it really didn't kind of land with the people she was speaking to at her networking group. So I asked Pamela, I said, okay, Pamela, within this group here, right, within women 35 to 55, who do you think has the most stress, right? And we drew a big circle and started to slice up the pie. At the end of that exercise, we chose 3 slices of pie. I guess we were hungry that day. And we looked at, she wanted to target a sub-segment within that niche market. So a sub-segment is it's a slice of the pie. It's a slice of the pie of women 35 to 55. And we discovered that working women with family who had to commute, now she was based in Durham region, so they commuted to Toronto to and fro every day for work. So that was one sub-segment, working women with family who commuted every day to work. The other sub-segment we focused on were single self-employed women with kids. And the last were single working women with family, kids, and also commuting, right? So what was true for them, right? Understanding our customer, stress was high. The stress of a daily commute from Durham region to Toronto, extremely high. Lack of a lot of time for self, extremely high. A lot of things and people to take care of, family, their work, spouses, or in this case in the middle, single self-employed women with kids. You got a business and kids to raise all on your own. That's stressful. So what Pamela started to do, what we started to do is say, okay, Pamela, where are these people hanging out? Where do you have to go to meet them? And we started to develop her marketing strategy so that she would start to be able to meet these kind of people and start to be able to have sales conversations, sales meetings, and present her solutions for these women. So she would go, for example, to a networking event of self-employed women, right? And there's a lot of those, you know, women's only sort of networking events. And when she was asked to do her pitch or introduce herself, she would she changed it up actually quite dramatically. She would stand up real proudly and say, are you a single self-employed woman with kids? Do you know the stress of having to run a business and having to raise a family all on your own? How would you like to get a little of your life back? Well, that's what I do. I do stress management workshops. I lead my clients in meditation, and I do one-on-one work helping people and women understand the benefits of mindfulness training. And so when she started to talk like that, directly to the segment or that niche that she was going after, the people that could relate to it, to what she was doing and who she was targeting, would come up to her after and say, "Oh my God, I have to talk to you," right? So that's what we mean by having a niche market. So you've got a target market here, women 35 to 55, and then break it down and decide for yourself, who do you want to work with? Who needs what you've got the most? And then focus your marketing strategies, focus your marketing messaging, and focus your sales messaging to really hook them and get them interested in what it is you do. All right? The other really important thing is focus on the problem and then, offering a real viable solution. All right? Makes sense? I'm going to show a video. I hope this works, or you can hear it at least. And this is a kind of a cute little cartoon video. It's a little funny. You might laugh, I hope. It was done by a good colleague of mine named Tad Hargrave, who has a company called Marketing for Hippies. And here he talks, he does this cartoon video with these two bears on why you need a niche. And here it goes. I know for sure you'll hear the audio.
I want to talk to you about marketing.
Okay,
I'm not getting enough clients. I'm going broke.
that sounds frustrating. Can you start by telling me what you do?
I sell a supplement product called Amazing Green Juice.
Got it. Amazing. Green juice.
Would you like to join the company?
Pardon?
If you sign up as a distributor, you get a big discount on the prices.
I understand what.
This is not the usual MLM. This one is different.
Let's slow down for a minute. Okay, so you sell this product. To whom are you selling it?
That's the best part. This can help anyone.
So your perfect audience is?
Everyone.
There are almost 7 billion people in the world.
It could help them all. I want to reach everyone. Would you like to sign up under me? There's a special.
So, your target market is the whole planet.
Yes.
Okay, I think this may be your problem. Most businesses fail because they have no idea of who they are trying to reach.
I know who I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach everyone.
Right, and this is where things break down. When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to everyone. You can't please everyone. After all, if your target market is everyone, then how can you know where to find them? Or how to word your marketing materials to them? Or where to advertise? Does this make sense?
No.
Why?
They are easy to find. They are everywhere. I can advertise anywhere.
I thought you were broke.
I am so broke. I can't even afford a pancake. I am hungry. Will you buy me a pancake?
No, I will not buy you a pancake.
I want a pancake.
This is ridiculous. I will not buy you a pancake.
You can take the money you would have spent on the pancake and buy me a bottle of Amazing Green Juice.
No,
You could live on just Amazing Green Juice forever.
no,
It is alkalizing.
no,
It is 100% raw.
no,
It is certified organic.
no. Please stop.
It affects you and heals you on a cellular level.
What does that even mean? Do you have any idea what it means? That is marketing fluff. It doesn't mean anything.
It is also fully certified fair trade. And it is vegan. And gluten-free. And no trans fats.
Why would there be trans fats in a green drink?
There aren't.
So, you're broke.
Yes.
And you're... Oh, you're broke.
Yes.
And you're... And your target market is everyone.
Yes.
So you can advertising anywhere and everywhere.
Yes.
How will you afford that when you can't even afford to buy yourself a pancake?
Oh.
Do you see the problem?
Yes. Thank you. I will do all of my marketing word of mouth and grassroots then. I will spend my time instead of my money.
Do you have any idea how much time it would take you to reach 7 billion people?
I don't care. I am on a mission. This is my life's purpose. I will do it.
Even if you only spent 1 minute per person,
I will do it.
that's 7 billion minutes.
I will do it.
That would take you 13,318 years, during which time you would still be broke because you would never sell anyone your product in 1 minute. 13,000 years without even being able to afford a pancake.
Oh,
So do you see why narrowing your target market might be useful and actually save you time and money? By choosing one group to focus on, it will help you spend every penny and every minute on something that is much more likely to get you business.
okay.
Good. You have realized that you need to focus your marketing on a narrower group than every human in existence who has ever lived. This is a good start. Next, we will talk about how to identify target markets that can work best for you. We will look at the difference between a good target market and a bad one.
All right. So here's some really good niche examples, and I just want to welcome a few more people to the call tonight. I noticed a couple of people popped in. Jenny, welcome, and Sujana, of course, you as well, welcome. So some great niche examples, mompreneurs, already mentioned them, right? That's a networking group, a business development group for moms in business, which is, to me, that's a pretty incredible niche market. Why? It's very clear cut. They have it right in their company name, mompreneurs, moms that are in business. That's who they're focusing in on. That's who they're catering to. They're not going outside of that boundary, and they're offering all kinds of training, development, networking, becoming a member benefits, events, shop, products, services, all geared to that niche market, mompreneurs. Another really good example of a niche market I like is, this is actually a colleague of mine. Her name is Sabia Siegel, and she owns The Food Coach. And you know exactly. So how is she niched? Well, you've got mompreneurs where they've niched with the name, right? And the market they're going after. What Sabia has done here, she's niched herself as a service. You're really clear as to the service that she's offering. She's the food coach. She amazingly got the domain name and was able to register that as a business name, as the food coach. So she does everything around food, nutrition, counseling, coaching you on your physiology, your behavior, your decisions. She's got products like a book. She does coaching, training workshops all around this segment, right? This niche of the food business. This is another really good example of a niche market. Student car share. It's like, zip cars, short-term car rentals. But he's gone after, Michael Lend, who owns it, has gone after the student market. So you'll see him at various, or you'll see student car share at various universities and colleges offering short-term car rentals to students. Now, one of the things that he's done really well at in terms of really developing this niche is he's opened up his business, student car share, to other companies. So here you see Pizza Pizza. So you'll, if Pizza Pizza wants to reach students, right? So he said, hey, Pizza Pizza, we have a platform where you can reach students. Jump on board. Let's joint venture. Another way to really grow your business, by the way. Let's joint venture and team up and do a promotion for students. So join now, right? If you join Student Car Share now, you get 2 free slices of pizza at Pizza Pizza. Kia is a proud partner. I think TELUS Mobility was a partner to promote Don't Text and Drive. So if you came back and you didn't text and drive and the car was safe and sound and you're safe and sound, I think you got like a coupon to use with TELUS, right? So there were little incentives to the students from other companies that would pay Student Car Share for sponsorship rights. So really good concept, very similar to these short-term car rentals that you see in the marketplace, but a very specific market. And again, he's talking their language, right? He's right where the students are. He's right on campus. He's visible. He's involved in student activities, like Frosh Week, educating students that they're available. So again, another really good example of niche marketing. The last one I'll show you is my friend Ted Hargrave, who I was just talking about. He was the guy that did that video. I guess you just heard the audio clip of it. But he owns a company called Marketing for Hippies. Now, what's that all about? Well, he's focused in on the niche of like alternative healthcare practitioners, massage therapy, nutritionists, and the green sector, like the green environmental type companies that are in the marketplace. So his tagline here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says, helping conscious, green, and local businesses to grow. And then the other thing, sort of this is a bit of a value proposition, marketing can feel good, and you got to get that when it comes time to market and sell themselves, the sector he's going after, the healing art sector, they're a little reluctant to want to be marketing and selling. They're really dedicated to the craft and to the art of what they do, but they're not great at marketing and selling. So he says you can be a better marketer and attract all the clients you can handle without sacrificing your integrity. So he knows that market and how they think, and then he's positioned his business in a way that they feel safe and good about using his services, right? Because he's going to help them market without losing their integrity. And that's important to them, right? So I want you to think of your overall target market for those on the call tonight. I want you to do a little work, a little writing work here. And what are some sub-segments within that target market that you can focus in on? What do you know perhaps about that niche? What are some of the maybe issues or challenges you feel that niche market has, and how can you solve them? Just take a few minutes, if you can, just to work on that. And I'll circle back. And if you want, you can write your answers down, and we'll take them up. All right? So take a moment to think of your target market, similar to Pamela, the stress lady, and what are some sub-segments or segments within that market you can focus in on. What do you know about them already? And what do you think some issues and challenges are for them? Take a minute or two to work on that. And write down your answers. Hopefully you're working on it, writing a few answers down. You don't have to get too detailed. Take another minute if you can. Anybody write the answers down, or do you want to unmute yourself and chime in? Like, think of your target market, and what did I say? What's a segmenter? Yeah, I saw somebody's mic come on. Anybody want to share?
Hey, David, it's Shoshana.
Hey, Shoshana, what's going on for you? What are some sub-segments you can focus in on?
Well, two sub-segments are first-time home buyers and downsizers.
Right.
So my first-time home buyers, they haven't got a clue where to start. So my um, solution, okay, to them, or the focus is to get them to the right resources, like to introduce them to mortgage brokers, explain to them the process myself so that they know what to expect, and then walk them through what the cost of trying to own your home and what the difference is between living at home or renting if they're renting, so that they have a real world view of what they're in for.
Right. And
On
also
the
sticking to a budget too, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Sticking to a budget too, right?
Well, that's the key, and that's why they need to get introduced to a mortgage broker so that we have that number to start with. So some people want to go out and take a look at a house, and I always say no, because if we go and take a look at the house and then we find out your budget doesn't meet that requirement, then you are never going to be able to reconcile yourself to what your budget really is. Because if I show you a house worth $700,000 and your budget's $400,000, you're not going to find a $400,000 home that looks like that $700,000 home. So your expectations have to be set at the beginning so that you're not disappointed, as you go through the process.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks. Somebody else has their mic open. You want to jump in? Not sure who that is. It says Kitty, but I think it's one of your colleague, Kitty. No? Okay. Let's move on. Really important though, Shujan, I want to thank you for that, okay? That, to get clear as to who that ideal niche market is, and then you're able to serve them in a way that's way more profound, right? You're talking their language. You're giving them the value and the solutions they need in order to have a successful outcome that they want. So in that case, it was buying the right house. So, when it comes time to really getting clear as to who your market is, you kind of have to picture them a little bit, right? So who's your market segment? What do you know about them? As you look at this picture of this young couple on the upper left, what do they could be a first-time home buyer, I bet, Susanna? They probably look a little bit, familiar, perhaps. Or they could be perhaps looking to buy wedding services, right? And, maybe they're going to get married. They're going to need a DJ service, or maybe they're going to need wedding rings, or maybe they need life insurance. Maybe they just got married and they want to have some sort of insurance policy, God forbid anything happen. So as you got to have your client almost in your mind's eye and think of, okay, who are they? What do they want? Here's the students, what might they be in the market for? Maybe it's about college or what's going on with college and university. Maybe it's about getting a summer job. Maybe, Kitty, they're prime candidates for summer company program. Or perhaps it's about an ad for, depression strikes 1 in 5 or whatever, right? So you want to look at your market and really think of your ideal client and go, okay, what is going on for them? What do these people need? What does that couple need? How about this woman? So it's like a happy grandmother. Maybe she just likes to buy things for the grandkids, right? Or maybe she's got a little, small business that she's doing, and she's pretty happy about that. And she's out, networking and promoting her small business. Or the guy in the middle here, he looks like he's successful, he's happy. Maybe, you want to talk to him about financial planning or insurance needs or, downsizing. Maybe he needs Shoeshana again. He's got to get out of that big house he bought years ago, and now it's time for a condo. And then here on the lower right is this busy, crazy housewife. Look, the kitchen's a mess. If you can see, there's dishes in the sink. What does she need, right? What's her story? Well, she probably needs a little helping hand. Maybe she needs a meal service, delivered to her door so she doesn't have to do all this. Maybe she needs, Molly maids, right? Some house cleaning and help there. Look, her hair's in curlers. She hasn't even had time to do herself up. So, you got to really think of your, your ideal client profile and start to, give them a profile, give them a look, give them a name. Leading companies, I know, oh boy, what was the company? A clothing company for women. They have a name for their ideal customer profile. So that's this idea of niching, this idea of helping you really laser and pinpoint your ideal client is really, really important stuff. All right. So one of the things I challenge you to do in the next week or so is to, start to learn about your segment. Start to uncover 3 to 5 things you might know about them, right? Like these people. We had a few things that we perhaps knew to be true, right? For those segments. And then if you know information, think of services and products and ideas you might have that can help them maybe grow their business or have a better life or have less stress or a cleaner home, right? What are some services and products and ideas that you as a business owner can bring to your target segment to help them achieve more positive outcomes and results, right? Yeah, really important stuff. One of the, I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to do that next week. This is an author, Sally Hogshead, who I'll talk about more next week on how to fascinate your customer. One of the keys, to niching is once you're really clear as to who your market is, you've got to be able to connect to your audience and prospects. So I'm going to show you a commercial. This came out about 2 years ago. It was a Toyota commercial. And you'll see, I don't know if any of you are familiar with neuro-linguistic programming, but you'll see how the Toyota sales reps starts to match and lead. He starts to take on the characteristics of the guy he's trying to sell a car to. And in the end, he and the guy he's selling the car to look the same and they're at one. Okay? It's a 30-second commercial. It was an award-winning commercial done here in Canada and featured in Marketing Magazine. This is called The Blue Crush.
Been researching this one?
Yeah, I was just taking this in, taking that in. So you're open to options? I'm an open window, my brother. So you've been checking out the RAV4. Totally checking it out.
This is the Blue Crush with moonroof.
Blue Crush. Moonroof. We get you, so you get exactly what you want. Ontario Toyota dealers. Real people, great cars.
I realize you're not seeing them, you're just hearing them. But what you heard too was how so here they are, right? Here's a picture. So that's the customer. By the end of the video, the salesman had the long red hair, a beard. He actually had a full head of hair and a beard. And they started to sound like each other. The Blue Crush, moonroof. Did you hear that at the end? They started to sound alike. So it's really important to really try and connect to your customer. Get into their world. Understand what's going on for them. Try and feel empathy for them. Try and figure out ahead of time what it is they might want and need given the realm of your products and services that you're offering. Okay, so really an important learning point there. So welcome, Lena, to the call. So again, the power of the niche, it helps you to connect you to your ideal target market. When you have a niche market, they'll get and understand the messaging, your marketing and sales messaging, and the value that you're bringing to the table. You'll be able, again, to, as I said, focus your marketing and sales strategies, become known in that category. You actually get to position yourself as a specialist. And we all know, like from medical terms, when we think of specialists, we're waiting to see that specialist a long time. We'll pay more money to see that specialist. And that would be the same for you. People will wait to see you, and they'll pay you more money, which is not a bad idea, right? And again, less time wasted in terms of the overall marketing and sales that you have to do, and you have a way more clear-cut direction in terms of the services and the solutions you're bringing to the table. Any questions? Any questions, comments? All right, let's move on to some niche marketing success stories. Kentucky Fried Chicken. They came out with that. They competed with a hamburger. Very different at that time in the late 60s when Colonel Sanders came out with the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why? Because McDonald's was, starting to really come on strong back then, and Burger King made an appearance too. 7-Up. Some of you may be too young for this, but back in the late 60s again, I'm dating myself, 7-Up's was a soft drink competing with Pepsi and Coke predominantly, and nobody understood what 7-Up was. It's a lemony lime, clear soda, and nobody really got it, right? And then the ad team came up with this idea of, why don't you call yourself the Uncola, right? And all of a sudden, their sales skyrocketed because people got it. It was a clear message. Oh, it's like a cola, but it's the Uncola, right? It's not a cola, but it's a clear lemony lime drink, right? And their sales just jumped through the roof on that, just that one marketing move, right? Gray Plus Insurance, car insurance for people 50 plus. This is a really cool niche idea. House Salon Health Yoga for Round Bodies. I've got to share this story. So this is a true story of a local Toronto area yoga practitioner. That's her company name. You can look her up. Her name is Tina Veer. And Tina loves yoga, right? Loves to do yoga, just absolutely loves it. So about 10 years plus or give or take 1 or 2, she goes to take a yoga class at a traditional yoga studio. And she came out of there feeling not so good about herself. She felt that she was being stared at, judged, and just really there was an air of not feeling comfortable being at that yoga studio. And so you have to understand this about Tina, and she's a plus-size woman, about 325 pounds, I give or take. And so she thought, man, that was yucky, right? And then she started to think, I wonder if there are other plus-size women who feel the same way. Do they think this is yucky? Do they go to yoga? Would they like to go to yoga? Would they go to a traditional yoga studio? So she started to do her market research, and she started to call some of her plus-size friends to see what they thought about doing yoga. And they all said, boy, we love doing yoga, but we, like you, we feel uncomfortable and judged and unsure about going to a traditional yoga studio as well. And not only that, the classes are a bit more advanced for us, and because of our body weight and size and whatnot, we can't do all the postures. So Tina asked, if I did yoga for people like you, would you come? And they all went, oh my God, you open it today, we're there, right? So she went and she embarked on getting certified in becoming a yoga practitioner, and she specialized in restorative yoga where the postures are done on the floor. So that's a lot less taxing on the joints and muscles, and it's easy to do the postures, right? And so she then trademarked the name Yoga for Round Bodies. You can look it up online, and started to offer that to her clients, to plus-size women. And she's had a buoyant practice, yoga practice, down at Christie and DuPont. That's where she's located. And all self-financed. She offers other services at the yoga studio there, like massage therapy and other counseling services. I think even some nutrition. And the other thing, too, because she's specialized and she's become known as a specialist or an expert, with plus-size women, when the media want to do an interview or a study or a story on, say, self-esteem issues for plus-size women, they go to her. So she's built up a really phenomenal reputation. Last I heard is she's licensing Yoga for Round Bodies across North America to other yoga practitioners. So she's making money on the licensing, she's making money on her studio, she rents out some of the space, so she's getting money from there, and she's got a very successful practice that's always filled. And as I said, pretty well self-financed. Not bad, huh? And then another niche marketing example is a food caterer only offering vegetarian cuisine. I'm not sure about how to handle this. I wanted to do a little bit of a case study, thinking, but you're a quiet group, so maybe you can take time to write, okay, your answers down, and if you want to unmute yourself too. So this is a niche marketing case study. Just pretend this was you, okay? You now own a tire store. So Shoshana, sorry, you're out of the real estate business. You own a tire store, and you realize you want to launch an ad campaign, right? But you also realize that there are more distinct markets and segments than you first imagined. So you discover your clients really vary, from families who are concerned about safety and their budget to the boomer market, that's my age group, who want value and reliability because the car's got to last, don't you know? Or you also find you get young men who love speed and performance tires, and they want action, and they want a drag race on a Saturday night. And then another segment of the niche that come in to buy tires from you are single women, 30 to 45, who they don't want to be oversold to. You hear horror stories of women who go to the mechanic and they come out, having been taken advantage of financially. So these are the markets that come to your store, right? So how would you approach and market and sell to these distinct market segments? So write down some answers or unmute yourself. Like, let's say you're going after families in a budget. What would you say to them? How would you approach them? What do you think some of the issues and challenges they have, right? How would you speak to those issues and challenges to families on a budget? Unmute yourself if you can, or write some notes. How would you market to families on a budget? What would your marketing messaging be to attract them to come to your tire store? Okay, we got a hand up. Yay! Shoshana, thank you. And man. Just trying to see what you wrote. No, I don't know why. I might have deleted it, Shoshana. So sorry about that. If I unmute you, no. There you go.
There. I couldn't unmute myself. I said to myself, okay, well, I can't talk to you. I'm putting my hand up.
All right.
So my thought is this: families on a budget. I have a special tire, a tire that resists punctures, so that you don't have to worry about spending money on tires that you're going to pick up nails and stuff like that in new construction sites because you're driving through the city and stuff, and there's so much construction going on. So I have a special tire that doesn't cost any more than the other tires and works just as well, as fuel efficient, and doesn't puncture.
Beautiful. Lena, can I pick on you? What would you say to boomers wanting reliability and value? Thanks, Shoshana. Lena, are you there? Okay, what would you say if you're selling tires to boomers, so that's people 50 plus, wanting reliability and value?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I would say that go for full tires, and you will need to go for winter tires and save money on all year round.
All right. It was a little tough to hear you, but I think we got a bit of it. Kitty, do you want to jump in maybe and talk about men who want speed? I'm trying to find you here, Kitty. Or do you want to write in? Anybody want to write in an answer? Men who want speed? Well, I'll jump in. Men who want speed, they want action. They want to be like the race car drivers, right? You'd agree, Lena, on that one probably, and Shoshana. Maybe you get a sexy woman to promote the tires. I hate to say that, but in this day and age, but that's probably what the market wants. Right?
I'm going to have a different take, David. You ready for this one?
All right.
My brain works a different way. So my brain works like this: you want speed, and you want great mileage, and a tire that's safe, all at the same time.
All right, yeah, because if you're a young man, you mean a lot to your mother, right? That kind of thing. Good. And then women who don't want to overpay and get taken for a ride. Pardon the pun. Lena, do you want to answer that one?
For women who pay, well, I'm suggesting get possible.
Yeah, you want to. I think you want to emphasize the trust factor, and
Just to save you time, to save you, like, it's safety first, of course, but assuming that it can be safe for the driving to the tires, so it's saving money to reinstall them, put them back and forth, and changing season, and the money saving for only one tire. So that would be helpful in terms of saving.
Yeah, saving that, and also perhaps you might even want to say, hey, if you can find it cheaper elsewhere, we'll match the price, right? So they'll feel good that, oh, okay.
Or install it for free.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Lena. All right, good work. Little case study, but what the purpose of that case study was, was to show you that there's different markets, and you got to decide on the ones you perhaps want to work with, and then talk their language, talk in a way that's going to matter to them, right? And the way you identify that, first of all, you got to choose who you want to work with, and then you got to kind of do your homework, research, find out what's going on for them. What are some of the issues and challenges that they're going through? What are some of their concerns? And talk to those concerns. Offer ideas, offer value, offer solutions, right? Connect with your clients and prospects. Dig deep, ask good questions about them. Find out where they're at, what they want, what their needs and hopes, goals, and dreams are, what their budgets are, and then offer great ideas and presentations or marketing campaigns that are going to speak to what they want and need, right? So really important work here tonight. So the bottom line is you have to be researching. So I can't stress a couple of things enough. The importance of market research. And I'm not sure that small business owners, we do enough of it, or we spend enough time researching. But I'm going to make a challenge to you. 2 Mondays mornings a month. And Monday's a bit of a dead time in terms of sales, right? People don't want to hear from you after a weekend. They don't really care, right? Take 2 Monday mornings, from 9 till noon, to go to the library or go to the Vaughan Business Enterprise Center and do some market research, right? Find new clients to call on, or look online about your industry. Go do a Google News lookup about your industry or your clients, right? My company does work with boomers, for example. So I subscribe to Google News alerts about the boomer market. So I know what's going on in their world. And now when I have a conversation with them, I can talk to them about not just business, but about other concerns they might have, right? What that does is it shows that you know your stuff. It shows you're doing the homework and the research. It shows you're a dedicated business professional. And it shows that you care. You've done your homework, right? So really start to research your client, what's going on in their world, what's happening in your industry, what are some success stories, who in your sector is succeeding, why is that? Who are the more successful people in your sector? Find who they are. Find out what their mindset is. What's their business model? What's their recipe? I'd even go so far as to ask them to be a mentor to you, right? Learn from the best. Why reinvent the wheel, right? We're almost done here. So over the next couple more weeks, we're going to really delve into the 6-step sales process. So I call this the joy of 6. Little pun there. So the 6-step sales process is research. So you want to research. Last week we looked at researching ourselves, our industry. This week it's knowing your customer, right? Next week we're going to look at step 2, prospecting, connecting, networking, talking it up, using social media to draw people to you, right? And attract customers. Book that first meeting or discovery session. So the goal for me of prospecting, networking, talking it up is never, ever, ever to sell. My goal is to get a meeting. I want to find out about that customer. I want to see if we're a fit. I want to find out what they need. I want to find out what they want. I want to find out what their budget is. I want to find out if we can work together. Can I do what they want me to do? Do I have to refer them to somebody else? These are all the various elements I want to find out in that first meeting. We're going to work on, we'll talk a little bit about making good presentations. That's step 4 in the sales process. So you book a meeting or a discovery session, you find out about that client. If you agree to work together, you go back home, you work on and deliver a quote or a proposal or a presentation, and then you deliver it in person to your client. In that step, in step 4, working on and delivering your presentation, there's 3 steps. You'll ask for the business, you might have to overcome objections, and you might have to negotiate the close, right? So those are 3 little steps in step 4. If you get the work, great. So you do the work and then you follow up. Believe it or not, the number one reason why clients leave you, unless, you know, probably the number one reason is you really screwed up badly, but the number one reason they leave is that you're not doing good follow-up. You know, that once they buy, it's goodbye, right? And it shouldn't be that way. You really want to nurture the relationship with the client. And we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks.
David?
Yeah.
On that note of your client, about 74% of people who have purchased from realtors said that they would buy again or use that realtor to sell if they could remember their name because their realtor hasn't kept in touch.
Yeah. And I know I get your monthly mailing every month, so I have no choice. And then what I do is I give it to people who I know are looking for a house, right? So I go, you got to order from this woman. So research is really king. In the next week, I want you to do a little bit of homework, okay, guys? I know some of you haven't been writing much or saying much on the line, but I still want you to do some homework. So I want you to think, what information do you think you'd need to know about your clients ahead of calling them? Can you think of 3 key points you want to know about your client? Where can you go to obtain some client data and research? Can you think of 3 sources? How can you include data and research in your sales conversations? And why does knowing a client's issues or problems ahead of time help you entice a client and get them to respond more openly to your offer? So that's your homework. And whoa, I'm going to just go back. And that really kind of wraps up our conversation. I'm just going to leave it with one other point. So here, with the research and the homework, how can you include customer data and research into your sales conversation? I just want to share an example of how this works. So, and Shujan, this is kind of in your alley. So a few years ago in the recession in 2008 and the real estate sort of debacle that happened in the States, it kind of spilled over here into Canada a little bit too. I had a client that I was coaching in a small business training program that the province was offering, the self-employment benefit program at the time, and she came in for her coaching meeting and she was a little bit distraught. And I said, what's going on? And she said, the market's dried up. Like, I'm not getting any response. I'm not getting any calls. Real estate agents aren't really interested right now in my services. It's like it's gone. It's like there's nothing going on. It's like a ghost town. And so I said, okay, well, let's see what's going on in your industry, right? And so we did a Google News search. You go into Google and then you go to Google News. And we typed in home staging. And we found a story out of a newspaper in Florida, of all places. And if you remember that time in 2008, Florida was like really hard hit by the real estate crisis, right? But the story in the newspaper said that even in this crazy economy, homes that were staged were getting 9% more on the resale value of the house, and they were selling a lot faster. So I said, her name was Deborah, I said, Deborah, use this in your sales messaging, in your cold calls or prospecting calls to real estate agents. And so she used it pretty well word for word, and this is how it went, okay? This is how you can use data and research in your sales conversation. So she'd call a real estate agent. She said, hey, Joe, it's Deborah from XYZ Home Staging. And studies show, even in this economy, that homes that are staged are getting 9% more in the resale value of the house, and they're selling a lot faster. If that's a result you'd like for your clients in your practice, I'd love to meet with you for a half hour, 40 minutes, to show you our portfolio and to see how we can help you get those kind of results. Would it be okay for us to meet next Tuesday at 2, right? Very simple, right to the point. Not a lot of real estate agents, I think, would turn that offer down because she's helping them to get better sales results, make more money. That's what we want. That's what your customers want. You know, how are you going to help them? What are the benefits you're going to bring to the table? How are you going to impact their life, improve their bottom line, you know, make them more business, you know, get them whatever the problem is they have, what are you going to do that's going to do that for them? So in that conversation, she used data and research to show how she was going to benefit them. So that's what I'd love for you to do over the next week, to really work on that. Okay, any questions before we wrap up? It's a little bit past 8 o'clock. Kitty, do you have any questions? Or Lena, do you want to, if you want to unmute yourself? Anybody? Are we all good? I think. All right. So I'm going to stop recording. I want to wish you all a beautiful week ahead. We're back next Thursday. If you like this, tell a friend. You can email me if you want last week's material. I have it on YouTube, and I can send you that, so you'll be totally caught up. So I wish you a really beautiful week, and thanks for being here tonight.